Before you even say the second scene, I'm going to answer the question and we're just going to see if I'm right.
Okay.
The answer to what you're about to say is nostalgia and Easter egg. But go on.
What? If you're me and I'm you, then who is that? I'm Grandma, sweetheart.
Could you tell everybody why we're watching this? We mean you.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we went to it because I knew I was going to go to a theater and see it. And I was like, I didn't mean to do it to you, Robby, but I'm kind of excited to hear, like, your incredibly, like, articulate and well-thought brain applied to this movie. And then I just wanted to see Cole. Like, I wanted to drag Cole to a theater and make him talk about it in his pretentious voice and using big words. So the main thing I was going to say about it is it was literally made for me. I, like, saw it in college. And it was just like a nostalgia cupcake, right? Like it's just like a bunch of little like nostalgia cupcakes.
Hello, I'm Julia Child. How about a neat little cake just for you alone?
And like it was just made for me to drag my friends to. Like they were like, you know what? She doesn't care if it's going to be good. She's going to go and she's going to bring other people with her. Like Disney achieved the goal of the movie, which wasn't story.
A hazelnut cake, an upside down cake, a gingerbread cake.
But like they wanted to sell at least 3 tickets per person, and they did. Like I did it.
We don't live in the same city, and
it's still right. You did this movie. It was a nostalgia cupcake. It was 12 nostalgia cupcakes.
Here's Joanne Killeen, who's going to show us how to make her famous baby cakes.
In the audience last night, I was the only adult male over 50, like by myself. I was sitting next to a couple in their 20s and then a woman by herself who I think was in her 20s or 30s. And I was just trying not to like look, and I'm taking notes. So like, I just looked. I mean, I don't know what I looked like.
Yeah, I mean, we know what you look like.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that you put us through that. I truly, genuinely needed a shirt that said, Jaclynn and Robby are making me see this movie.
I do think maybe those are shirts we need for this.
The ticket taker was at least kind enough not to look me in the eye. The entire thing was rough.
I'm so glad I made you guys go.
What?
Glad I made you guys go.
For a movie that frequently drove me a little bit crazy in the sense-making scheme, it was a very enjoyable couple of hours. And it actually made me want to see the movie that it was based on to find out, like as an exercise in figuring out what I missed.
I saw it when I was in college. It reminded me of driving my like 1993 Mazda Miata to the theater with Karen before like a Karen was a Karen. I was like 21. We saw it at like 11 p.m. and I was definitely drunk. And so I think so. And then like the song that like ends the whole thing was like on my CD player for like a year for sure. Yeah. I like loved the soundtrack. I actually maybe even it was given to me for my birthday, honestly. And I brought a bunch of my guy friends to it and we were like all drinking. It was fun, but not because the movie was good. It was fun because it was like an experience of the time. But in college, I sold cell phones, and it was like the best job on the planet. And I worked at T-Mobile before T-Mobile was T-Mobile, so I worked there when it was VoiceStream Wireless.
The most whenever minutes, only from VoiceStream.
And I worked in the mall, and I freaking loved it. And our spokesperson was Jamie Lee Curtis.
Don't you just love waiting for the sun to go down to use your wireless phone? I mean, what could you possibly have to say during the hours you're actually awake?
And so it was like I drug like all of my like coworkers and my friend Karen like to the movie theater. So it was like Chris and Nate and Lance, all of my like early aughts guy friends, my like VoiceStream Wireless crew, and we all like drove to the, you know, like went to the movie theater together. So I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about, did I like this movie?
Did you watch it again after?
I've seen it since. Yeah. It was a good movie. But I'm so happy to see Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan fronting a movie. I love like a female-driven bad bet. I'm not mad about it. I'm not here to like shame it. I'm glad it exists. I'm glad I went.
What did you know going in, Robby?
So I knew the story. Like, I knew the original story from the Jodie Foster version. I knew that there was a movie, a remake with Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis. And that's really all I knew about it. And then this one, I knew that there were 4 people changing bodies. And that's the only thing I knew about this. And I was like, oh, okay. How are they going to do that? I think I Jane Goodall'd it. I was like, I wonder what I'm going to see.
Did you just compare yourself to Jane Goodall? I'm going into the forest full of apes.
No, I didn't go into the movie theater for 9 days and observe people watching it.
That's one. Oh my God. Amazing.
Don't interfere. Just let them be.
Let them be. I mean, it was kind of an experiment, I feel like, for both of you.
Yeah, it was.
I'm in the wilds with life I'm not familiar with.
I have thoughts about the movie, but it's interesting that we're talking more about the experience of the movie than the movie itself, because it's really important.
Yeah.
It's such an important part. Like, the best times I've ever had at the theater have been for like schlocky movies. The best time I ever had at the movies was seeing one of the Friday the 13th movies in high school. Because it was a packed theater. Yeah. Everyone knew what was going on, and the audience was so vocal. Yeah. And it was just like, it ended up being call and response, and my friends and I were laughing, and it was great. And everyone last night, and I don't mean, like, I don't want to seem humorless about it, but everyone seemed to be having a really good time.
And I wish we had done it together. Like, Robby, we've never seen a movie together, but there's very few people I like watching movies with. But I love watching a movie with Cole. Like, it would have been really fun a couple of years ago, Cole, because you would have made like a crafty cocktail. We would have snuck it in a thermos. We would have had little drinks together and then like been real snotty about it, and it would have been a blast, Cole. And you wouldn't have felt as creepy because you would have just been like, ugh, she's here.
All the pressure we relieved who were there.
Yeah.
Even if if we're like me and Robby, people would be like, oh, well, they're a couple. No big deal. They just don't want to be at home together.
It actually kind of didn't work as well as I think it wanted to. I don't feel that old most of the time, but this made me feel like a sad old lady trying to relive the past.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of really unkind aging jokes. I was surprised at how kind of gross and mean it was. Like, I know that the whole thing is like they're these young women and they wake up in like a mom and a grandma's body, but I was still really surprised by, in 2025, how ageist a lot of the humor was.
Jamie Lee Curtis deserves somewhere between an Oscar and a Nobel Peace Prize for having a 5-minute scene where the director had to be like, so like the bit is just that you're really old and it's disgusting.
And you have to say it about you. Yeah, and you just have to do that relentlessly.
Close up.
And in a close up. And it's so frustrating because she's so gorgeous. There was also a lot of yelling. I don't like anything that like the conflict is totally just based on everybody yelling at each other. And I get it. Again, it's like moms and daughters, generational differences. But it was the first like half the movie is everybody just yelling at each other. For like a feel good movie that I'm just going to go eat popcorn at 10 p.m. on a Friday, it was like, please, if I wanted this, I would just...
You could live this if you really wanted. You could have gotten... Yeah.
Like, I could do this for free.
Did you see the bloopers at the end? I was cracking up in the bloopers where I was not in the movie.
Yeah, it looked so fun to make, and I wish they'd brought all of that joy in. Like, all of the cut stuff was so much lighter, so much funner, so much more loving.
Oh, if the Joyride editor edited this...
Yeah.
This would be like vomit funny.
It would have been so fun. It had so much potential. And if it, much like my comments on the Fantastic Four, it's sort of like they're so busy fitting it into this like template and checking boxes that they forgot to let the magic occur. And it was like they were so busy hitting every nostalgic button that they like forgot to be like, oh, maybe kids today they wouldn't feel so ugly. They'd be like, oh my God, I'm like 70. What are the things I could do? I could go out and like I don't think any of those young women who are gorgeous, like the daughters, I just don't believe that they would jump in somebody's body and immediately start picking those women apart. Like that would just not happen. And I bet like the actors wouldn't have wanted that. Like I'm sure they didn't go to the actors and be like, what would you say if you got stuck in Jamie Lee Curtis's body? Like, I wanted to watch a movie of the bloopers because they seemed like they all loved each other, like they cared for each other. Sorry, I'm talking way too much. I'm going to be quiet.
No, I don't think you are. And I feel like that brings up a really good point. Like there were hints at deeper themes, and that's what was so disappointing about it, because like these are like not unsavvy kids, right? Like they're pretty savvy kids, and I don't believe for a minute that the kid inhabiting Jamie Lee Curtis's body is going to act the way that she did. And like it was obvious they were having such a good time, but also someone should have been like, okay, this is great, that's your take, or we're gonna do this, but like, why don't you two get together in another room and talk about what it would be like, what it's like to be in your body, what it's like to be in their body, and then we'll come up with something. There was so much potential there. There was so much potential, and it was just like, oh, I guess I'm going to crash and I'm going to be happy that I didn't break my leg. And it's like, okay, that's fine, but like, what more? Like, what more can we...
Truly.
What more can we say about the aging process? What more can we say about living another person's life? Like, all of that's really important stuff.
We shouldn't be going back to the early aughts beauty standards, but some of the humor came from Lindsay Lohan entering into a 40-year-old Jamie Lee Curtis's body and being like one of the quotes from the original Lindsay Lohan, Jamie Lee Curtis, Freaky Friday is Lindsay Lohan goes into I guess like Anna goes into Tess's body. And she looks in the mirror, very similar to what we see in this one. And she's like looking at this gorgeous 40-year-old Jamie Lee Curtis's face. And she says, I look like the Crypt Keeper. And it's funny because she's only 40, right? So it's sort of like, it is kind of a commentary on like kids feel like you're 40 and you're dead. Seeing that happen, like that similar thing happen again to Jamie Lee, but like as a much older, a 20-year-old or 22-year-older woman isn't as funny. You know, like it's not obviously untrue. It's more like this woman is older. It's a good conceit.
For any sequel that I've ever seen, this is the one that I should have seen the originals beforehand the most.
It's funny because we've done this thing. I don't know what order we're rolling these out in, but we do this thing as a podcast trio where we take scenes and we share them because we think like these scenes tell these amazing stories. And what has been really interesting is almost every time we've shared a scene with each other, the other two people hadn't seen the whole context, but we can put together almost the entire story because it's so well told. And this was not like that. Like it was sort of like it wasn't telling you a story in pictures or like letting you know. I felt a lot like I could check boxes of what I'd seen before, but it wasn't telling me a story through pictures again. Yeah, I kind of was like, oh man, they're going to appreciate this 0% because it's just an Easter egg hunt.
The real hardest part about making any of this is like getting the pieces together.
Yeah,
no, actually,
it's like a hard production. It's like you need to be a top tier producer to make this work. The casting, that's why it's like I could never really insult this movie. The casting was top tier. Absolute top tier casting, and everybody showed up and took it seriously, and like nobody felt like, I don't know, like nobody Hugh Granted it, you know, where they're sort of like rolling their eyes in the Paddington movie. Like they're like, everybody was like 100% committed and like taking it totally seriously. I do believe Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan have a love for each other, and they were excited to work together in something that meant something to them. I think they took really good care of the younger actors. Like
you said, Jaclynn, like everyone showed up. And I found myself getting weepy at the end. Like, I found that to be very moving.
I did too. Okay, I did too.
Yeah. I found that to be incredibly moving. And the issue I had with it was that, or the issue I thought I was going to have was that it didn't feel earned. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, because I knew that like everyone's seeing the world from each other's perspective and that there's going to be a moment where they all sort of understand like this person has a life that I totally don't understand. And the tack that the movie took with Jamie Lee Curtis and Sophia Hammonds was that those two were in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
Like, I did not see coming that Jamie Lee Curtis was really upset that she was going to lose her daughter and granddaughter. And it made absolute sense when she said it. And I also didn't understand, like, the amount of guilt that the British sounding daughter was holding from the loss of her mother, and putting those two people together and those two actresses together. The fact that the writers and the directors got that or incorporated that as like a goal to go towards, I thought was really emotionally astute.
I appreciated that they had this like complex 4-body switch. And to your point that they paired those two together, because if it was just the two daughters, you're not going to get as deep, but having those two was really something. It got me in my little heart. It did. It got me. It felt like in the Fantastic Four when like the uncle went to save the day. I was like, you found that exact pathos button and you pushed it and it worked.
And the kids were so subtle and
good.
strong. Like really good work. And like I really enjoyed them.
But I'm glad they cast Manny Jacinto, and I love Sophia Hammond. So I mean, sorry Brits.
Manny in this film he's exactly what I want to look like. I wish he were costumed in a V-neck t-shirt and so
he would look like you.
Nice.
To the listeners right now, Cole is currently in a V-neck, and if you've ever seen him on the street, he's in a V-neck. If you've ever seen Cole's uniform is a V-neck.
This ties directly to that for me. Of like the number one thing that I want to say about this is, and I guess it's a question too, what fantasy world are we living in that all of the male characters are loving, upstanding, just amazing humans? Like, I want to marry all the men in this film.
I just feel like it's like you can tell if it was written by a woman, because if it was written by a woman, like all of the men are like, I love strong, confident women. I'm a good, perfect person. And if it's written by a man, it's like all of the women are like, oh my God, I'm so dumb and I'm in love with you, older man. So it's like the romantic fantasies. You can always tell, like, I don't know. It's like women dream of like these kind, loving men who like strong females, and like men just love dumb ladies who worship them.
They're kind of like off to the side for the most part. The men are off to the side, so it's kind of It'd
be cool if they cut them out completely.
Yeah, I wouldn't have
mind. They kind of did.
Yeah.
Like, the men are not incredibly present. Like, and then they're used to provoke reactions. Like, they're really not that present. I just kept wondering, like, have you ever seen the TV show The Americans? Have I mentioned this to you before?
No.
The couple at the center of this have, like, a daughter and I think a son. And they go out and they do these... They go on these missions at night, in the middle of the night. And when Emily and I were watching it, I just kept like, who's babysitting these kids? And, you know, and what, who's, like, are they leaving them home? Are they, like, do we need to call Child Protective Services? So that the more it went on, the more I was like, I can't watch this. Like, this is like a major thing that you're proposing. And, like, you're supposed to be parents, and yet there's a whole part of parenting that doesn't factor into it.
The thing that got in my way a lot was, it's like all of this was obviously going to resolve itself, and they were all going to end up back in their appropriate bodies. And so for the 4 of them, it was going to resolve. But like, there were so many real world consequences, right? Like, how were you going to explain away all these weird things that had happened over the course of however long it was? That to me got in my way. Like, it was like, how are you going to explain to the fiance, like, why she said those things? If I was like about to marry someone and they started acting like my son, I feel like that would have an impact on me. And it's not like it wasn't like Men in Black, where they just had like a little thing where they go bloop and they like erase everybody's memory. Like, I almost think they need that.
Wow, I didn't ever think of that Men in Black memory eraser as like an intelligent story point.
It's a little cheaty, but
necessary in the way that you're explaining it.
Necessary, yeah.
I was only ever taken out one time about caring about consequences. Like, I didn't care about any of the consequences that you're bringing up while I was in the moment. The only time I thought about consequences was when Jamie Lee Curtis's character needed a reason that they could get backstage, and she like said, "I've got these badges. We can get backstage. Someone gave me these badges." It's like, what? I haven't cared about a thing about consequences until now.
And now?
I clocked that too. I was like, not necessary. Like,
No.
it really took me out. I was like,
Joe
what?
the whole shark. Now you're gonna bring in Boat Patrol? Come on.
Or someone clocked it and was like,
They would never be backstage without passes.
That's really funny. Like, the two kids don't know how to drive, but they're in these, like, adult bodies speeding through downtown LA. Fine. Totally fine. Bodies are being switched left and right. Nobody's showing up to work on time.
Kids don't go to school.
Yeah, they're just, like, they don't know where classes are. They don't know how to do anything. All fine. All of that's totally fine. But how do they get backstage?
actually, that's really good because I want to talk about two scenes in particular that made no sense to me and I didn't know why they were in there. The thing with the backstage pass, it was like a blip and then we just moved on, and these were two major scenes. The food fight scene, other than a reason to get them suspended or detention, made no sense to me. It was like, we need to get these two people in the same detention room.
Before you even say the second scene, I'm going to answer the question and we're just going to see if I'm right.
Okay.
The answer to what you're about to say is nostalgia.
Oh, it is.
And Easter egg. But go on.
Okay.
This entire movie, wait for it, is free from Chekhov's gun.
Oh, what does it matter? Usually, I can barely keep you away from my gun. I cannot stop you from running around doing the pew-pew, pew-pew. This very, what is the word? Freaky to see you like this.
But they did this thing with the engagement between Lindsay Lohan and Manny Jacinto, which was, I thought of you, Jaclynn, because it was like they meet each other, they kind of like each other, and then there's a montage. Photos of them becoming closer and photos with their kids becoming more involved and not liking each other. And it was like 40 seconds maybe. And I was like, great.
I will say that I don't just want a montage. I'm not just a nonstop proponent of montage.
Oh, no.
But I did, two things are true. And one is exactly, like, we didn't have to go on all those dates, but we still knew that they got close and we got to see it. So to your point, it's like they wrote it, like they knew it existed, but like we didn't have to see it. And in a female-led movie, we didn't spend a whole bunch of time on this dude. I appreciated that a lot. They flirted, we saw it, and then we got to the beginning of the movie without him being like a major part of it.
And the reason I thought about you as well was because like it clearly defines everyone's relationships.
Yeah.
The two daughters to each other, the troublesome family dynamics.
From a few minutes in, the relationships were strong enough that I didn't need the freaky part of this in any way whatsoever. I would have watched this family figure out whether or not to move, to stay together. I would have liked that story as well.
One thing I wrote down was the physicality of the actors. Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan, when they were being inhabited by children's bodies, they look like adult bodies being inhabited by children's bodies, which is tough to do. They looked like their bodies had been taken over by something else. When they returned to their own bodies, they felt like two adults who were comfortable in their own bodies. And I just thought that was so impressive. I loved that.
I wonder how much of it was the writing versus the acting, because they verbalized it with the slouching of the young daughter and like that slouch posture versus stand up straight. So it was weaved in the entire time, which I was also very impressed with. As much as it's not like a quote-unquote great movie, it's a very impressive movie.
It kind of made me wonder, like, the way that those two walked was just, like, so loopy and so goofy. I began to wonder, why didn't Jamie Lee Curtis have an accent? And what part of a person's body is controlled by what part of them or what facet of their personality?
If this were a science fiction film, we'd have a wildly different answer to your question of what part is controlled by what other part.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting. Nobody used British words, I don't think. And I think that gets back to our whole, like, we have backstage passes. It's like, why now? Like, why are we now worried how this world works? Like, we have not, that is, the agreement has been this world doesn't work and we're all in. So, like, please don't put rules in now. As a writer, I will say it's freeing to watch stuff like this. I can limit myself so much to creating anything because I'm so worried, like, it's not going to fall apart. And Cole has actually... You've actually given me that note, like, I think more than once, where you're like, stop worrying about how the world works and just let it go. Because I was like, but how would they, and then how do you think it actually funds itself? And he's like, it doesn't matter. Like, you're writing a spy comedy. Just let them go be spies. Like,
Yeah.
It could be a really interesting sci-fi movie. Like, what is your body? What is your soul? Like, who really are we and what isn't us? And
this same conundrum is why I couldn't deal with watching Poor Things. The plot of that to me is just, oh, we're raping a child for 90 minutes straight. This mind is in a different body. What does it control and not control? Question not answered.
Yeah, I never watched it, so I can't really say because I can't truly judge something, but that deeply unsettled me, and I have never watched the movie because I just felt like I would not be able to handle it. And same with Palm Springs. Like, that was another one where it gets, like, morally... In Passengers, it gets, like, morally ambiguous of, like, who's in what body and when, and, like, what consent does that bring with it, and, yeah.
You started me on realizing that conundrum with Passengers, and if you hadn't said it prior to that, I wouldn't have seen it in Palm Springs, but now I can't watch Palm Springs.
Yeah.
Which movie is Palm Springs? Is that the one with Andy Samberg?
Yeah,
Yes.
and Chris...
Oh, okay.
Kristen Milioti.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a great movie, but it has some, like, moral questions of, like, how much consent does she have? When do you embody and what don't you? And, like, what is consent? And if he knows so much more and she doesn't, and, like, in Passengers, he wakes her up knowing that, like, it will kill her, right? And, like she doesn't know he wakes her up.
Oh, right.
We can have female-led comedies and they can be successful. And I would like to remind every movie studio that they should cast Jamie Lee Curtis in everything. Because when has she ever gone wrong? For Robby.
For a movie that frequently drove me a little bit crazy in the sense-making scheme, it was a very enjoyable couple of hours. And it actually made me want to see the movie that it was based on to find out, like, as an exercise in figuring out what I missed. Cole, is there anything else that you need from us? Were there questions you wanted to ask us?
We have to do favorite lines or your reveal.
Which do you want?
I would like your reveal first, because if we stop, we can't get that again.
Cole, did you notice there was something for you in this film? It is specific to your own likes, and it's specific to a playlist you gave me this year. I'm so excited. Okay, so from your boutique 16-bit bullshit playlist, which also required me to watch Gayotic, which also inspired this podcast.
Did I miss a Muna thing?
Yes, they were in it. They're in it.
In Freakier.
They're the band. Like, they're the upcoming pop stars backup band.
What?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Dead, deceased, dying.
I might go see this again.
Muna. Yeah. And so, like, they, at one of their shows, they dressed up as Pink Slip. So the band is Pink Slip. They had a Halloween show. They dressed up like Pink Slip and played the final song, right? Like, at one of their shows, the Take Me Away song. And so then they got them for the movie and they played that song again. Like, blew my mind. Dead, deceased, dying. You've sent me their, like, visual podcast, man. I know.
This is a very mean, amazing reveal, Jaclynn.
I know. I don't mean to be, like, overly earnest, but I don't think I've said it to you. I've told some other people, but I know a place, like, really like really unlocked something for me.
Wow, you haven't
year.
said that.
Muna.
Yeah, Muna, Robby. And then the song that like was like a key to a thing I couldn't see is called I Know a Place. It has this like line that says, you think being yourself means being unworthy? Whew. Whew. It like, it really got me. It like has really, like it is like honestly like changed my life this year. Cause I realized I've spent like so many years working on like accepting myself and like my shadow side and integrating all this stuff. And that I had like kind of like accepted myself for who I am, but like that believing that being myself, like that I had to accept myself as just unworthy. Like it's like, oh, I'm just less than, but I'm okay with that. And I didn't recognize it until that line. We have got to get out of here.
I acknowledge that there's a lot going on.
It seems like a good time to do favorite lines.
I don't love being outsmarted by tall, flightless birds either. But we got dressed up. I mean, we're in pleated periwinkle safari shorts.
Cool, yeah. How about if we just go ahead and do favorite lines?
All right. Naked Ostrich, you finished? Jaclynn, Cole. I think it would behoove us to move on to favorite lines immediately.
Who pissed off the bird and why was it Cole? Bye, Naked Ostrich. No, you look great.
I'm going to say them now. I'm saying them right now. If you're me and I'm you, then who is that?
If you're me and I'm you, then who is that?
If you're me, then I'm you, then who is that?
If you're me and I'm you, who is that?
If you're me and I'm you, then who is that?
If you're me and I'm you, then who is that?
If you're me and I'm you, then who the is that?
If you're me and I'm you, then who is that?
If you're me and I'm you, then who is that?
If you're me and I'm you.
If you're me and I'm you, then who is that?
If you're me and I'm you, then who is that?
If you're me.
If you're me and
I'm Grandma, sweetheart.
Mine is Make Good Choices, which is absolutely a callback from the first movie and something I've said for the last, 20 plus years. I've said it to both of you, I promise. It's usually what I say goodbye, how I say goodbye.
I definitely didn't know that this entire time.
Make Good Choices. Cool. Favorite lines?
So many. Elevated genre. They're doing a palm reading or a tarot card reading in Starbucks with one of the Starbucks employees, and they're asking about if their screenwriting career is going to take off, and they say you have to start writing genre, and he asks elevated genre, and she's like no, and he dies.
That's really funny.
That's
Elevated
great.
genre? No. And it's in LA at a Starbucks. 10 out of 10. Yeah.
And then favorite line was when the kids had to sit next to each other in the backseat of the car, and one really didn't want to sit next to the other, but the British-ish one said, "I love sitting next to you. It reminds me I'm amazing."
That was great. Actually, I hope that I remember that and use that at some point. That was great.
I liked 3. I haven't digested like this in decades. was a pretty good one. Somebody at some point says you can't have a wrong opinion, which I also really liked.
I disagree with that one.
Yeah, I did the same.
Oh yeah, no. But I don't know that I would agree with it in all things, but I liked it in the context of this movie. And then I think it was Jamie Lee Curtis said, "I miss England." It was very touching to me. It was very moving. Very simple, but you kind of know what's behind it. You know why it's being said. It's touching, and
it was really nice because what it said was, I miss my mom and I don't know how to grieve. It was such a simple 3 words, but what it said was, I miss my mom.